This has been the worst thing that has ever happened in this town.
There was a lot of complacency after September, in spite of the aftershocks afterwards. We didn't really imagine that there would ever be anything like that again.
It sounded like people were just throwing bricks and stones on the roof.
It looked like an overdone disaster movie. Someone's tried to make a disaster movie. They've just gone too far.
Those with iPhones are saying, my God, half the town's down, half the city's been destroyed.
Everything was dust, cars left with their doors open, things like that. But we looked up and down and thought, well, we both said to each other, there's going to be hundreds of people dead under there.
It's just been too much sadness. It's not just the people who died, it's just the relentlessness of it all. You're meant to have an earthquake, a few aftershocks, and then get on with it. But we've had 4 major earthquakes and 7,000 aftershocks or something.
Just shattered everybody.
Paul Piper, I'm a policeman here at Christchurch South Police Station, and I've lived in Christchurch all my life. The crushed buildings, the crushed cars, abandoned vehicles in the middle of town, sunk up to their wheels and sills. We were getting reports of people crushed in buildings everywhere. No one knew what was happening. Everyone got stuck in. There were people from all walks of life, builders, tradesmen, factory workers, businessmen, everybody just got stuck in and helped everyone who was in need. There was no formal command set up. Obviously no planning had been done for September anyway. Police came in straight away. We had the army there within a couple of hours of it happening, offering personnel, logistics, meals. The main part was really just trying to secure it, keep areas clear, keep people out of buildings, because we're still getting a lot of aftershocks, still getting debris falling, and most of that was done throughout the night until the Red Cross dogs came and sniffed for bodies. The CTV building, it was very moving, it was very poignant. It was obviously very distressing for those who were there and for those who'd been there in the early stage when the fire broke out. People did things they would never dream of ever doing. They were dealing with dead bodies and seriously injured people, digging people out from under rubble. And you could still hear the evacuation sirens. But there was nothing else. It was just this incredible stillness and quiet and the burning smell, which just wouldn't go away. There were so many people that did get burnt alive in there. Burnt body smell is just terrible. It really is. It's a smell you don't get out of your nose for a long, long time. It'll come back months later even. Now, the word we all used was surreal, and that's what it seemed like day after day. We're probably back to policing as normal, in the new normal, which they keep saying. It is different because the strip's closed. We've got all that group of people who used to go in and drink in the strip now drinking all over the city, and so our resources are far more widely spread now, trying to police that and keep some order.
I'm Simon Williams, and I've been living in Christchurch for a huge amount of my life, really. As for a job, I work at St Andrew's College. I teach classes of various ages. Our chapel's knackered. The big building Strohan, the big house, that's out. 2 of the 3 boarding houses at St Andrew's have not been used since February, and they've now been demolished. The students have been working just as hard. On the surface they don't appear to have been unduly affected, but of course they have. A lot of the kids are not sleeping properly. I heard a kid the other day, his mother was saying he's gone back into his own bedroom at last. Another boy in the Year 13 class His father said to me one day, "You may notice that Ben is not himself." Half our house disappeared down the hill in February at Sumner. And he said we couldn't get anything out. And I'm thinking, my God, you know, this, how do you deal with that stuff? You look across at the eastern suburbs and you realise that some of your kids do come from there as well. And those are people struggling with the most extraordinary difficulty.
My name is George Kamiri. I'm an Australian citizen, born in Melbourne. Arrived here in 1978.
I'm Judy Cook. I'm a teacher, and we've lived here at Cambridge Terrace for maybe...
Since 96.
Just really loved this area. It was just fantastic. It was a walk into town. And then, of course, September the 4th happened, and we've been on the move ever since. When the earthquake hit on September the 4th, pitch black, we had no idea what had happened.
Our heart remove floors had risen in the middle of the living room by about 300 millimetres.
I can't see how the floor wouldn't have cracked like a whole bunch of toothpicks.
The underground garage and wine cellar has torn the house in half, made the purlings in the roof pop out of the beam, which is why we had to prop it. The floors had to be taken up, and you can actually see how much liquefaction has come up since the February quake. We lived in the house for 3 weeks after the quake. It was very, very difficult with no water, intermittent sewerage, no power. We hatched a plan after talking to several builders and engineers that the house could be repaired. The rapid assessment team after the February quake came and gave this a green sticker. And as you'll see from the interior, how anybody could be expected to live in this wreck, I don't know. They later returned and gave it a yellow sticker.
The engineers came through and said, you can't stay here, it's just too dangerous. Where we are here, it's zoned orange, and they won't make up their mind what to do with the land for months still.
The land is an issue, and despite all the repair plans that we made till that quake hit and made this house then irreparable, we have decided that, quite frankly, the CBD is not the area for us to come back and live. And so we've had to make a really hard decision.
My life has changed fundamentally in my attitude to old buildings, my attitude to cities. What building are you going to go into without first looking at that building and evaluating it? Anything with a brick in it that's more than about 10 years old, you ain't going there. Any high-rise building, no way. You know, I mean, your whole idea of, oh, well, I'd like to live in a grand mansion. Oh, bullshit, half of them have fallen down.
Living with aftershocks is very problematic.
They still make your pulse race because you just don't know how hard they're going to be and how many of them they're going to be, and more particularly how long it's going to go on for.
I know if I turn the air conditioning plant on in this room we're sitting in, and I don't say to the kids, it's the air conditioning, everyone, I'm just about to switch it on, they will go pale and they will grab the desk because their adrenaline will flow the moment they get a hint of anything to do with an earthquake.
Any loud sound makes you jump, especially like a door of a car slamming or a loud noise from a truck going by.
You can't help it. It's an involuntary response. The moment you hear the rumble or the building starts to move, you're right up there. I'm feeling it right now talking about it.
Well, it's just not what we're used to. It's a different city. It's difficult because we can't go into the central city. It was the soul of the place, and not being able to go in there. It's just a different place. It really is a different place.
It feels forgotten, desolate, and a ghost town.
Christchurch, damaged, stressed, but hopeful, I think, and detect there is hope.
It's shaken, but people are hanging in there. People want to see the city recover. I think the Kia Kaha Be Strong message is strong. I think it struck a bell with everybody. We just carry on. Everyone just carries on and gets on with it, I think. We've just got to move on. You can't stop. You just got to go on.